Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day, if there are any. So, jumping right into Forex Factory. Today is Thursday, and we have for the pound. Today we have news for the pound. Okay, so we have this clearment, count change, and then monetary policy summary, and then MPC, and then official bank rate. So this is what we have today. For the pound yesterday, it was FOMC and core PPI for the US dollar. So let's look at the chart and see what happened and what we can expect going forward today. So looking at the charts from the daily, Euro USD, we've broken structure to the downside, okay, albeit we've mitigated this daily area of demand and we had a strong reaction, and we did come back into this area of imbalance and we are reacting bearish again. So it is likely that price could still continue bearish, okay. So this is sort of signaling a trend change, okay. So this could be the start of the trend change from bullish to bearish. So this is on the daily. For the pound, it's the same thing. We've been pushing down. We've mitigated this area of demand. We've had a reaction, and then we have pushed down again strongly yesterday. But we still have this area of demand at the bottom, which is extreme. And if the trend is to continue bullish, we might see price mitigate this extreme before switching bullish. So looking at the 4 hour, this is what we have. So this is our internal range on the 4 hour. We broke structure, price has come up and he has been reacting, and there's now reacted bearish. As we can see in this area, in this leg, we don't have any clear areas of supply to wait on. So I'm not going to read too much into this. This is our 4 hour week low. So after break of structure, we expect price to pull back. Price has pulled back. Now price has pulled back into equilibrium and mitigated a little bit of premium. Okay, so this is what we have, and now prices does show to be reacting to have come down strongly, okay, after mitigating these areas here. Now prices come back into this area again, so we might have to wait and see if this area fails, right? And that means overall, if the demand area, the daily demand and the 4 hour demand, once they fail, then we continue to expect price to continue bearish. All right, so looking at the 15-minute, where we can look and focus on our daily, our intraday. Okay, so yesterday, this is what we were looking at. So we had this area of supply, all right, and then as you can see, price eventually came in, mitigated that area of supply, took out these highs, these relatively core highs, took those out, mitigated this area of supply, and then we had a strong sharp reaction. Okay, we are breaking structure to the downside, and then we mitigated this area of demand, which I was also expecting, and also had a reaction. So we could have had could have had, so let me zoom in. So we could have had a trade from here, right on the lower time frames, maybe 2 hour, 3 hour, okay, and then definitely from here that was a nice 3 hour, okay, and then obviously during New York Open, there wasn't much going on because now people were waiting for the high impact news at 6, and then once that happened, then price just continued to tank, okay, on the Euro USD. So meaning the US dollar is still gaining strength, okay, amidst everything that's going on. The US dollar is still strong and the euro is weakening against it, and so is the pound. So as we can see, price has been dropping. Okay, price has been dropping. So you could have had a trade from here. Okay, this one not so much. Okay, and this one from the top of the supply. Okay, so looking ahead to today, we've had a break. So we've broken our internal is broken down. So this is our internal break of structure. This is where the supply ended up failing. I mean this demand as well as this demand. So that means this is my new range or my current range, and that becomes my strong internal. And after break of structure, expect a pullback. Price is pulling back already, and that becomes my weak internal low. So 15M, that's my weak internal low. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. So this is the current range that price is playing in. So looking ahead, so we broke structure. Okay, we broke structure, we came down, we've had this reaction during Asia. Now we have Asia low and another weak low, and then we have our Asia high. So ideally you'd want to see price come up into this area. Okay, come up into this area, sweep Asia highs, mitigate this supply at the top. Okay, and then continue bearish, targeting Asia low. However, with where price is, I highly doubt that it's going to come back all the way up. Okay, it is possible, right? But I highly doubt that it's going to do that. So what could happen is, so we do have this areas of demand at the bottom here. So what we could see happen is price could continue, all right, take out this area, this weak low, and maybe continue towards this this extreme, and then maybe we have a reaction coming up from there. So we could react straight from the zone, or the zone could fail. Okay, the zone could fail. So that means we might have a sweep and then have a reaction going up. So this is what I may be looking at. Okay, this is what I may be looking at. So we have these areas where price could target. So for now, just put that as possible draws on liquidity. So 15M. Okay. So all right, so this is what I'm looking at, and this is my trade idea for today, for the Euro USD. So let's go look at the pound. So let's start on the 4H. Okay, so starting on the 4H on the pound. Okay, this is what we have. So this is the current range we're in. All right, price broke structure, the internal low, mitigated or almost mitigated this area of demand at the extreme. We've had a reaction. Okay, price came back into premium. I'm sure price mitigated premium, waitlist equilibrium. Yes, so price did mitigate premium. Okay, price did mitigate equilibrium and went on into the premium, swept these highs. Okay, these highs were swept, and then we've had a strong reaction from there. Now we are possibly targeting this weak internal low and possibly the whole of this area. Okay, the whole of this zone could now be a target, and we do have this extreme demand as well. So looking at the 15-minute, this is the range we're in. Boom. This is the range. Okay, so this was my internal strong. Now we've broken, so now that's an internal break of structure, and then this is now my internal strong, and then this is my weak internal. Okay, and now we do have this area of demand where price is reacting from. Okay, so let's look deeper and let's see what we have here. So we have Asia lows, we have London lows, and then we have the swing low. All of these are relatively close to each other. Okay, so it is likely that we could see a run of these lows. We could see a run of these lows. So I'm gonna just mark that as liquidity. This is an Asia low. We could see that run, and then we have this extreme low, which is our swing point. All right, so all of these areas, at any point, price could sweep any one of these and give a reaction. And then this is our internal break of structure now. 15M my boss, and then now this becomes my strong internal high. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, so similar to the Euro USD, I may not expect. Okay, so we did have a sweep right there, okay, in this area, and then we went on to break structure, internal structure of this internal leg. Okay, so we've gone on to break structure bullish. Okay, now could that be a sign that we're looking to go bullish? Possibly. Okay, however, I would suspect or anticipate that price, because of this strong movement that we've had, of course we've had a pullback. Okay, so this is pretty much the decisional. Okay, and this is the extreme. Extreme has been mitigated, and that is the decisional. Okay, so we could see price come up to these areas. Okay, or if price comes up to these areas, then this may be a good area to look for shorts. Okay, if price comes up to these areas, then this would be a good area to look for shorts. Okay, targeting these Asia lows. Okay, However, another scenario is that price will not come back up all the way there. Price from this point onwards could just continue going down. Okay, just continue going down, maybe take out these areas, and then once it takes out these areas at the bottom, then we have this reaction, and then maybe we could target any of these areas going up. Okay, so obviously if you just target your 3R, that would be good, you know. So anywhere from these areas we could see price react bullish. Okay, so pretty much that's my trade ideas for the day. That's what I'll be looking at. So we might see price continue bearish, and then if it takes out any of these, and then gives a reaction, and then we have lower time frame confirmations, and then could be looking to go long. Okay, at least targeting 3R, or you know, possibly Asia highs, and you know, maybe this extreme decision now that we have right there. Otherwise, we may see price come up and then maybe look for shorts from there. Okay, bearing in mind that price is reacting from this area of demand. Okay, so all of this could be just a reaction. Okay, and now price is pulling back to the extreme, so that it now starts to move bullish. Okay, so this is why from the lower time frames, when you're looking for entries, you should be looking for quick targets, quick obvious targets, and be in and out. Okay, so those are my trade ideas for today. So please, if you are finding value in this material, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to leave a comment, and let me know how you are using this in your own trading. So have a good day, and Working Trader out.